What's that sound? It's For Amusement Only, the EM and Bingo Pinball Podcast. Welcome back to For Amusement Only. This is Nick Baldridge. Tonight I wanted to talk about a unique game in the Bally Bingo catalog, 1954's Hi-Fi. Now, Hi-Fi is a single card bingo, and your goal, of course, is to get 3, 4, or 5 in a row. In this case, the game has something called advancing odds, where the game will display a lit set of numbers to indicate what you earn for 3 in a row, 4 in a row, and 5 in a row. You earn more with the larger numbers of contiguous balls because it is very difficult to get a 4 or 5 in a row. So your default 3 in a row odds are 4, your default 4 in a row are 16, and your default 5 in a row are 96. Your maximum odds are 64 for 3 in a row, 200 for 4, and 300 for 5. This game has 2 super cards. Super cards, if you get 3 in a row, it scores as 4 in a row. So they are typically worth shooting for if you think you can make the numbers. This game also features corner scoring, and not just on the main card. In fact, it features corner scoring on the super cards too. So if you have the super cards lit, if you get all 4 corners of the super card, you'll earn 200 replays. If you get all 4 corners of the main card with the corners feature lit, it'll score 200 replays as well. This game also has something called Select a Spot. There's a dial on the front of the cabinet, and by default it's going to award you a couple different numbers that you can choose between, all the way up to 7 different positions. So the numbers 19, 20, 21, 22, 16, 25, and 10 can all be spotted independently. You can't spot more than one at a time. Now you have to choose which number you want to spot before shooting your 4th ball. At that point, the game locks you out of choosing your spotted number, except this game has an extended time tree and will allow you to choose before shooting your 5th ball if you have that feature randomly awarded. This game features rollovers, your typical red and yellow rollovers down at the bottom left and right hand corners of the playfield. And if those are lit and you roll your ball over them, it'll spot the numbers 2, 5, and 8 on the backglass. So you have the potential to spot up to 4 individual numbers on the backglass. Now, of course, those numbers were carefully chosen so that a player could not win off of spotted numbers alone. You still have to make numbers. Now, this game's primary feature is the bump feature. This is the only game to feature this, and it's awarded at mystery intervals. That means it can take multiple coins in order to light this feature. But you can earn up to 10 chances to push a button on the side of the cabinet in order to jostle the playfield for you. Now, when I say jostle, there are 2 large solenoids which are mounted underneath the playfield, and they have heavy springs beside them. And when those pull in, it will basically move the playfield quite a bit. Now, in my talks with Danny Leach, I did an interview with him sometime back here. He mentioned that Hi-Fi would shake the balls and move them out of trapped holes. I believe that's what he said. And that is pretty cool. You know, that's something I'd like to see in action and experience, because if you have a bad game where you don't make your numbers, the nice thing about this is it gives you a second chance. The other nice thing is if you're just playing, you get up to 10 chances to do it. So as you're shooting the ball, if it's in the wrong part of the playfield, you can bump the playfield, and it bumps it rather forcefully, but the beauty is it doesn't tilt. Now remember, in a bingo, when you tilt, you lose your entire bet. That means all the coins that you've put in are gone for good. So it's in your best interest not to tilt. And this is one way to get around that. I think it's a neat idea. I'm still not sure of the playability, but it sure sounds cool. And again, I'd like to see it in action. And we'll get to the art in a moment. But before that, this game also has extra balls. So imagine you have 8 chances, plus up to 4 spotted numbers. That's a lot of numbers lit. Assuming you don't just make the spotted numbers with your balls. But that's a lot of potential for winning, and with the bump feature, it may be even more potential, depending on exactly how much it moves the playfield. So I think that's pretty cool, and it might be a pretty darn good player. I would just need to see it in action to make a decision there. Well, let's talk about artwork. This game has a music theme, as you might have guessed by the name Hi-Fi. Bally is front and center, and it is mounted on the center of a record. In the background, you have a big band and a couple ladies. Musical notes and stars are integrated with the advancing odds. And everything is set on two-tone blue background beneath the band. And I happen to like both of those colors of blue, and I think it looks pretty darn good. The cabinet is comprised of mini records, which are arranged in such a way that it looks like they're kind of set up in a tower, and the tower has started to fall. And so the records are flying up in the air, and that leads into a musical staff. And there's a clarinet in the background with musical notes. It's ultra attractive. It's a very cool stencil. The records have a red inset label, and it looks great. Now the playfield has a big band and multiple people dancing on top of records that are flying through the air here. You've got a singer down at the bottom of the playfield who appears to be looking over at the light tower. Not sure what she sees, but there's something there. This playfield is very attractive. It's got huge inserts under the rollovers, which light up, very similar to Surf Club. And the lock bar has special plates which are made just for this game that point to the bump button on either side of the cabinet in the flipper button positions. I love the plates that Bally made that sit on the lock bars. I think they are pretty unique and cool looking. Like I say, I'd love to play this game one day. I hope it comes up in my area at some point, because I'd for sure like to pick it up just based on the strength of the artwork alone. Well, thank you very much for listening. My name again is Nick Baldridge. You can reach me at foramusementonlypodcast@gmail.com, or you can call me on the Bingos line. That's 724-BINGOS1, 724-246-4671. You can listen to us on iTunes, Stitcher, Pocket Cast, via RSS, on Facebook, on Twitter at Bingo Podcast. You can follow me on Instagram, also at Bingo Podcast. Or you can listen to us on our website, which is foramusementonly.libsyn.com. Thank you very much for listening, and I'll talk to you next time.